You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Stop our show.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Hot Take Hot Box. We are back, live and in color. Not really, it's kind of just a picture that you're probably watching on the YouTube, or if you are on Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, we appreciate you all the same. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Ty Capone from the beautiful state of Florida. What is it like down there right now? We have a ton to talk about, Ty. We got Kelce. We're going to have to, play the taps, salute. One of the greatest Eagles to ever suit up and lace up the cleats has called it quits. Jason Kelce retires officially.
Who cares?
Oh, come on. Don't be that. Don't be like that.
I'm doing well. It's the weather's kind of there's going to be some rain. It's like mid-60s or 70s. I told you about some incident that woke me up this morning. Crackheads just screaming in the middle of the street. That's your average day in Florida. Dave Portnoy's down here reviewing pizza in St. Pete. Love it. There's a lot going on. There's so much going on that I don't even know where to start. So I guess we can just start off with. Do you want to start off with Kelce?
Yeah, we will. We'll just a little quick rundown of what we're going to talk. We got the Flyers trade deadline coming up. Sean Walker's
Big
been
moves.
moved. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Embiid is apparently ahead of schedule, it seems, or that confidence and excitement and optimism has grown around his return, his impending return to our Philadelphia 76ers. And the Phillies are getting, minorly linked to a couple different guys here and there, so we will discuss.
Philly's struggling, dude. 4-5 in spring training. What do you think?
That means nothing. So they're going to probably struggle to begin the season anyway, like they do every year, it seems. So
Hey, who's leading the Phillies in at bats this spring?
I don't know.
Johan Rojas.
All right, that's
He's
good.
4 for 20. So
That's not good.
Well,
I mean,
and then Weston Wilson. They have a guy named Weston Wilson on the squad who is no relation to the UFC fighter, correct?
No.
Okay.
That guy was
thought it
hitting
might be the same.
absolute bombs last year for the Phils.
I was like, maybe this is the same guy. Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. The Eagles, Jason Kelce, announces his retirement in a very dramatic 40-minute or so speech to the assembled media and parties, all together. Did you get the chance to watch? Did you watch this from top to bottom, Ty? I'm not going to go through the whole thing and just break it down like it's a fucking Game 7.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be honest. I really didn't watch anything. I've seen some clips, but I knew this was it seemed like a lot of people. My sister was one of them. She was caught off guard by this. I'm like, no, motherfucker. He said after the game, after the Bucs game, he told everybody in the locker room that he was done. I think a lot of us believed it and thought he was done. So I was just under the assumption he already did retire, but I guess officially with Travis there and all that, it was cool. I mean, it absolutely dominated my everything feed: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my Pornhub app, everything. It was just, just kidding. I don't have that disgusting filth, but it was legit everywhere. And I was like, not that I got tired and annoyed of seeing the same thing, but I was just like, okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
My sister is on Instagram Live crying, and I'm like, oh my God. This is what are we doing? It's definitely sad. I'm going to miss Kelce a lot. I think where my mind shifts is how do we replace him? And this is a huge need that we need to fill right away. We can't, we can't just say, we'll figure it out in a couple of years. We'll plug somebody in. Cam Jurgens hopefully is a better center than guard. We'll see. I'm not too optimistic just because I didn't love the play I saw from him, but we'll see. Another year under his belt. Now he gets the center job. If they went, this wouldn't be my number one pick at 22, but if they drafted JPJ, I think that's his name, Jackson Powers Johnson. I think that's it, from Oregon, the number one center in this draft. Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson. Look at me. He's a stud.
ready to go.
He's a stud, and he would probably, if a center's going to go in the first round, he's probably good. Just saying. And he looks to be nasty. I've seen some people kind of mock him to us just because of Kelce retiring. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd be okay with it, maybe. I don't know too much, but we need somebody right away to come in and fill that spot. So I think I saw somebody say that they're hearing that the Eagles are going to be very, very interested in signing young, impactful defenders on multi-year deals. So I love that. That's exactly what we need. Yeah, I don't really know what else. Like, I don't have that much to take from the whole Kelce thing. I'm kind of like, all right, let's move on or move past it. I love Kelce for sure, and I'm happy he gets to just chill, talk shit with his brother, hang out with his wife, like live the fucking good life, dude.
Yeah.
I don't have that many takeaways from it. I'm sure if I watched the whole thing, there'd be more things that I can be like, oh, we can talk about that. But so I'll let you dive into that. But I'm just more so looking ahead.
Yeah,
to the future.
it sounds like you had already kind of known, like you just made your mind up, like, all right, he is, like, I already knew he was retiring, so I'm not going to get myself all invested in some long I mean, it literally, like, it just happened that I was doing nothing at the time, and I turned the TV on, and I sat there, I watched it. He did, he did make me cry a few times, especially the, mentioning of the brothers and growing up and all that. That always, pulls at my heartstrings. But
yeah,
it was just, it's like the end of an era. It felt like, because this is a guy who was a part of a lot of different, evolutions of Eagles football. I mean, this is a guy who was here when Andy Reid was here when Chip Kelly was here, won a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. Now, he's was here for a couple years of the Nick Sirianni era. He has seen a lot of Eagles football. He has embodied what it meant to be an Eagle and what we have always wanted in a Philadelphia Eagle. So it's kind of, it's sad. It's tough to see that guy go away. And honestly, I am happy for him, though, because it seems like it's the perfect time to kind of do this and walk away, because, I mean, I'm sure he could keep playing and he could keep putting his body through all of this, but why would you when you have a beautiful wife, a beautiful family, and why would you put yourself through this when, like, I think if it was up to him, he'd probably just play until he literally couldn't play anymore, but I think as life has evolved for him, he's realized I have more to live for than just playing the game of football. It's not just about me anymore. It's about more than just myself. It's about my daughters. It's about about my family and everything. So the guy's made a ton of money. He has had a great career, and I hope it's not that I hope. I know it's not going to be like the last time we see him. He will be around.
Yeah.
I am curious to see what he does next, involving maybe a studio job of some sort, or is he going to get into the coaching side or some sort of like front office role? You don't like any kind of the sky is the limit for him, because the guy has the personality, for days. Him and his brother could both, can do whatever they want when their football career is over. So the podcast will keep going. That's not going to change. And, to look at the positive end of this, that clears up some money for us to kind of maybe, allocate that in another area, because like I've said, it wasn't his fault, but at the end of the day, the offensive line was still getting zero blitz throughout the entire, with him on it, was getting zero blitz throughout the, the last month of the season, and there wasn't anything him or anyone else could do about it. So it's not like we're going to be screwed without him. I think we are going to, I think his impact is more going to be felt in the locker room than maybe on the field. I know I'm not taking away his, like, I think people will probably be like, well, he's all pro. I'm not saying, he's a washed player. It has nothing to do with that. I think center overall is a position that you can find a replacement for. And I think,
look where we got him.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
5th, 6th round.
So, and I think it's more of just the character and the guy that we are losing out on, and the locker room kind of just pillar who's been here to kind of count on and trust for a very long time. Did you see any of the stuff about him kind of like, it felt like pointing, towards some of the players in the current locker room, saying that they're, a lot of crying about the fans and stuff, but he'd rather not play for any other fan base in his life, and, just things of that nature. Did you happen to see any of that?
No. I'm interested though. I'm
gonna try and find some quotes real quick, but did you see that he got his ankles taped before the most hardo move ever? But it was for a cool reason. The athletic trainer, apparently, who's been fighting cancer, he did not was not there in Tampa for the game to tape his ankle, so he did want him to tape his ankles one last time. And he got it done before the
Awesome.
so like that's just Jason Kelce though. Like that is he had a lot of different stuff to say though. Like all about family. I'm thinking one of the best things a person can be in the world is a father who is present, loving, and devoted. Just might be the greatest gift a child can ask for in our society, and I have a fucking good one. But I loved all the like the times that they had to bleep it out, like him saying that Nick Foles got the shout out to Nick Foles, he's got the biggest dick for going up to Doug Peterson asking for the Philly special, talking about how much he loved his brother when he met his wife at Buffalo Billiards. Shout out to Buffalo Billiards. That's that place ripped me off one time I was in there. That was a little ridiculous. And I did find some of the stuff here. Consider it a great blessing to play in the most passionate sports town in America. At times you hate it, but when you've been through it enough, you learn to appreciate it. No one celebrates their own like the city of Philadelphia. Some people struggle to play in the city. They can't handle the boos, the media, or our fans. I consider it a blessing to play in the most passionate sports town in America. They're not going to accept your excuses or your soft-ass nonsense. So that is the one thing that I heard, and I was like, that is absolutely a shot at some of the people who are playing on the team currently today, because we have heard an awful lot of soft-ass nonsense. We are not even going to get into the Darius Slay appearance on the Steven Nelson's podcast, which didn't know that was a thing either. But those two talking about how bad it is to play, those two trying to act like when they come out of the locker room before the game, they're getting booed. Like, that's what Steven Nelson was trying. They are not getting booed coming out of the locker room pregame. That's just not happening.
Not happening.
There's 60,000 people who've been slugging beers in the parking lot all day who are ready for war. And then they get booed when they're down 14-3 going into halftime. Yeah, you will get booed. Do you want us to just not say anything? Like, that's what I don't understand, that some people, like, the players or, even some fans are like, we're too hard on the players. We're too hard. Like, sometimes maybe. Of course. I think there's certain special cases for everything. But I think as an overall, if you want people to care when they're good, do you not want them to care when they're bad? You want them to just kind of say, oh, okay. Like, it's, well. Like, you can't have one without the other. So make your mind up. If you don't want them to care, that's fine. Then they'll stop showing up. The team will kind of start having a meltdown because they won't be making as much money, and there'll be a lot more pressure from the inside more than there is the outside. So I don't know. I don't think we even talk. We'll have a lot to discuss actually for the Eagles, because I know we've missed a lot. There's still just so much drama, Ty, surrounding the Eagles that I just can't understand why it continues to go on. But
how do we fix this? Like, is it the coach? If it is, why is he still here? Like, that's what I'm struggling with. What the issue is? It the players? Is it the coach? It has to be somebody, and we haven't no big players have been traded or released yet. So I'm like, well, we still have the coach, we still have most of the players. Was it Brian Johnson? Was he the only one? And now it's like, oh, we're good. The toxic culture is gone. Like, I don't know. I don't know
either. The good thing is I think they're going to have, like, in the top 10 cap money, to kind of go out and spend. I think they're going to need some secondary help. They're going to need
Darius
a running.
Williams.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Xavier McKinney is another guy I keep seeing us kind of connected to, or people want us to get running backs. Pretty much every running back that's on the market, big name, is kind of getting linked to us. We are the second favorite to get Austin Eckler. Don't want him. Let me just say that.
I'm good.
Good on that.
Saquon dirt now.
Would take him for the right price.
I would like Saquon, yeah.
Derrick Henry, I'm sure will be, a conversation at some point. Josh Jacobs will also be available. I don't know how much money all these guys are going to get or how much they think they're going to get, but those are going to be all kind of players that are going to be, in the discussion or available. And we've kind of discussed it. Go to the last episode of the Hot Take Hot Box that we did of the HTHB, as you'll see it on the that's a B, not a P at the end. That we kind of discussed some of the linebackers and some of the players that could become available for the team if they wanted to go out and spend some of that money, because I think they are going to be aggressive, Ty. I don't think this is a situation where you sit around and wait and hope that the team gets better, or kind of like try to build through the draft and view this as like a bridge year or something like that. That's not a thing. I don't think you can do that when you have two, top potential top 15, 10 receivers on your team in Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. That's not to me. That's not an option. So you need to go for it. You need to fix that defense, and you need to just be all in pretty much. And that doesn't mean just trading everything, but you need to use all the necessary resources to try and get this thing right. To put a bow on the Jason Kelce conversation, it is sad, but again, like you said, I am with you in the sense that it's time to like move forward. I'm always going to look back fondly on the time that he was here in his career, and there's never going to be a bad thing that you really can say about him. So, don't cry that it's over. Don't cry that it happened. Cry that it's over. Whatever the fuck that
Something
cheap
like that.
ass saying is. But did you see? I mean, well, obviously you heard about some of the AJ Brown hopping on WIP, which I thought was a enormous. I still think this was a mistake to go on there because you gave everybody exactly what they wanted, and he still didn't answer any of the questions that people wanted them to. I think he thinks that if he lies enough, or if he just kind of yells or gets angry enough, that everyone's just going to accept the answers that he gives. But to me, still, you created an enormous distraction throughout the entire end of the season. We still don't know why the offense didn't work. It's not just the players not executing. I refuse to accept that as an answer. The offense looked completely different this year than it did last year. Oh, I don't need anybody with, a football pedigree to tell me that. I have my own fucking eyes to be able to decipher that. I just didn't understand why he's going to come on and just start attacking the media, and I don't understand the Twitter public and people who just get so upset about radio hosts creating radio topics. Like, that would be kind of like people like us, the people getting mad at people like us who are just talking shit. Like, that's essentially what they're supposed to do as a radio host or a podcast guy. Like, they just talk about the things, the rumors and stuff that, should we trade Bryce Harper? People, you'd be like, no, you're a fucking moron. But then people are like, you're running our best players out of town. This is why nobody wants to play here. No, it's not. No, it has nothing to do with that. They just want to play in nicer places. There's nicer places in America. You want to play in Miami. You want to play in Los Angeles. You want to play, in New York, stuff like that. That don't blame it on the fact that some Joe Giglio is tweeting stuff. Exactly. Like, he's a troll. I don't like him either. But like, to act like he has some sort of power over AJ Brown staying or leaving, or things of that nature, is insane. You're giving these people way too much power. They're just radio hosts. They're just, they have a job to do. And by you people like AJ Brown and some of those players going on there and getting all angry and taking offense to some of the things they're saying, they're giving those radio hosts exactly what they want. They're just feeding into everything that they want, which is the clicks, the views, the attention, and hey, that's the game. So at the end of the day, hopefully that we can put this AJ Brown stuff to bed next year. And I saw some of the stuff saying that like he was intimidating Brian Johnson to like give him the ball and stuff like that, which I don't know how true that is, but having seen AJ Brown get fired up on the sideline, I could see that being a thing or see that happening. I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility. I think that's the problem though, is that they don't give us the answers that make any sense. So we are still left as fans to be like, what happened? We're trying to figure this out because we don't want it to happen again next year. And like you said, though, they're bringing back like the entire same kind of nucleus, other than shuffling the chairs on the Titanic a little bit, I don't really like, what is the real change? Kellen Moore and the D coordinator, other than that, I think they're gonna add some things in free agency and in the draft, but I think you're right. Like you said, like it's just there's a lot of things that need to happen before we really start to buy in or understand kind of what went down last year. Still, we just don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what happens in this draft. I'm always a big draft guy, but this year we have a couple picks. I just really want. It's so important nailing a draft. Look at what the Ravens have done recently, just nailing multiple years, multiple picks, especially those top picks. Man, you just hit on those, and you're setting yourself up so well. I don't even think people really understand fully. You're getting stud players right away that make not that much money. So I'm excited to see what we do. Are we going to take a corner? Because so many people are mocking a corner to us, and that's how he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Well, it's time to do that. It's time to do that. I cannot fathom having James Bradbury and Darius Slay as our only two reliable corners. And I don't want to hear all this talk about Keely Ringo and anybody else. Sure, maybe they can step up or make the next step and continue to improve, but they're not going to be starter quality. At least I don't think so.
I'm also not setting my team up with the idea that they are going to. Like, if they become one, then that's great. But,
sure. You don't just count that and be like, all right, we don't need to take a corner. We have him. It's like, okay, well, what happens when he's not good? Now we're completely fucked. And now we can't move forward as a team because this unit is completely shit. I think Slay's still got a little bit left in him. I hope Bradbury can somehow bounce back a little bit, but he's probably cooked. I mean, he's not turning back the clock. He's not getting any younger. No. Avonte Maddox gets hurt every time he steps on the field. Yeah, so I want to see Terrion Arnold, Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, somebody. So one of these top corners, Quinyon Mitchell, maybe, but he'll probably be gone.
Why don't we run a quick mock here, Ty? Why don't we?
Let's do it. For those about to mock.
Yeah, for those about to mock, we salute you. I will run the picks right now until we get to the Eagles. Talk about some of the guys who go before. Obviously, Caleb Williams. I think there's going to be a lot of, there's a lot to figure out there because it doesn't seem like the Bears are really. It's not like a lockdown that they're going to pick Caleb Williams and trade Justin Fields. Like, I think there's.
Really, I think it is.
I think so, until I see Justin Fields get traded, which I guess obviously isn't possible yet. But until that actually happens, I won't believe it because they're the
problem is they want so much back for him, but the market for him is not very robust at all. I mean, they want a first round pick or multiple seconds. Like, I don't think teams are going to be in a rush to give that up. Justin Fields kind of is what he is at this point. He does have a lot of talent and ability, but when it comes to processing and reading the field and making smart decisions, he's just very inconsistent. His field vision, I mean, he makes these throws and you're like, wow, dude, what a stud. This is our guy. And then the next 3 quarters, he shits the bed and he's throwing, he's not reading. He's throwing right to guys who are just standing there on the other team. You're like, how did you not see that? He gives you these high highs and these low lows. And sadly, a lot of the high highs are with his legs, which is fine, but you need to be able to throw the ball to be a successful dual threat quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Like Jalen Hurts, his season 2 years ago, I was like, damn, dude, this is an MVP type season. I didn't see this ever coming from Jalen. Then he takes a bit of a step back this year, and it looks like a huge step back, right? Just in comparison. Yep. So you really just need to be on your shit as a passer, as a processor, pre and post snap. Justin Fields, he's just not there, man. I don't know if he will be. I think he could be. Maybe a fresh start is probably what's best for him and the entire organization. Trade him somewhere that has like a pretty good O-line, but not a quarterback. I don't know. Something. I feel like the Falcons would be a pretty good move. He's from Georgia. But I guess, man, they're really hot on the Kirk Cousins trail. I don't know about that, which is so surprising to me. I feel like they would go with the younger quarterback to play with the young core that they have, and they also have a very good O-line. So that's what the Falcons should do. We're going to give you a second and a third or something. Whatever it is, trade for him, boom. And then the Bears, the Bears are in a very good spot.
They have so many picks.
So many picks. And, if you come away with, Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors at 1 and 9, wow. Now you got Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, DJ Moore, what's my guy's name? Khalil Herbert, the Texas Rashawn Johnson, Cole Kmet. You have a bunch of decent to good options, or you take an O-lineman to help out your quarterback. But going back to us, I see people mocking Peyton Wilson. Don't think we're taking a linebacker. I would like it, but they're definitely not going to do that. I could see a corner. Could you see a receiver? Probably not, unless we're moving one of the others.
No, No, I mean, I think the Eagles are somewhat in this situation of like there's a couple positions that you would just pick the best available of those few positions. You know, like wide receiver, linebacker, DB. Like the Eagles are kind of in that luxury position where like they kind of just need a few things here or there. I don't know if they like. I would probably pick a lineman. You know, I wouldn't be against it, but also I don't think they necessarily need anything other than there's a couple positions that like they need a third wide receiver. I don't know if that's something you want to pick in the first round, nor do you have to. But if you don't like any of the linebackers and DBs there, and they've all been picked already, then why wouldn't you? I'd rather pick a sure thing than kind of take a chance on a position just because you need that position more. And I think we've discussed on here, we're going to know a lot more about what they are going to be targeting after free agency when they kind of spend some of this money. If they go out and get a safety or a cornerback of some sort, we're going to be like, oh, okay, so they're not looking DB anymore. They're going to be looking in another area. So how about Caleb Williams? They have Marvin Harrison Jr. going second. Didn't do anything at the combine. Respect, man. He doesn't need to. Your boy Malik Neighbors going 3 to the Patriots.
Yeah. What mock is this?
This is PFF. Mock draft simulator. I don't know if they're just throwing shit around on here. I don't know what's going on.
The good thing is the simulator is a great tool. The problem is sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
No.
Like it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, Malik Neighbors receivers going 2 and 3 is just not happening. It's going to go QB, QB, QB. That's exactly how the top 3s go. Now, who the teams are, who knows? But that's I feel like very unanimous in that sense. But what do I know? I do love PFF's little thing because you can do a whole 7-round mock and it's pretty quick and it grades it for you. But sometimes it doesn't. Even though it says it factors in needs, it doesn't really. So it's just an imperfect science. Obviously, it's computer.
So we'll do one of these and then we'll read. Remember last year we were reading somebody else's each kind of podcast to kind of.
We can fire up a PFF one if you want me to
log in. I got one right now. I'm just curious to see the kind of the way they have Drake May going 6 to the Giants. That would be kind of shocking. Joe Alt, Brock Bowers going 5. That's a wild move. Cooper DeJean going 7. Quinyon Mitchell going 8.
I don't agree with him. Where's the tackles?
There's no Jaden Daniels going 11 to the Vikings.
Okay.
Byron Murphy going to the Broncos. The tackle from Washington, Fautanu's going to the Raiders. Then you got Nate Wiggins. Fashanu's going to the Colts. Then you got Jared Verse. And then 3 straight Crimson Tide members, Dallas Turner, J.C. Latham, and Terrion Arnold. Then rounding it out at 21, Peyton Wilson. And now we are on the clock. There's 2 trade offers, I think, that they want. This shit don't make sense to me. But how about Jackson Powers Johnson is available on here? Would you like? There's a ton of linemen on here available. I don't know if that's.
So I just did one real quick, and for us here, Verse, Leatu Latu, J.C. Latham, Peyton Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr., who will not be there. Would you be against taking an edge? Because I think Jared Verse is a stud, man. He was supposed to go to LSU after he was at Albany? I think he was at Albany before FSU. I could be wrong.
No, I'm not against it at all.
Arrives at FSU and then comes back for another year, which he did not have to do. Very rare to do that. And then he had an even better year. He was pretty much everywhere in the pass game, in the run game, everywhere. And then Leatu Latu, love him. He had a 96.3 Pro Football Focus grade last year at UCLA. The issue is he had to retire medically for a neck issue before, and he's a firefighter. 2 red flags.
No, I don't want him.
I'm good. Now I do. There are similarities between him and Jalen Phillips, who also had to medically retire when he was at UCLA, transferred to Miami, broke out, and became a first-round pick, and now he's a stud. Hopefully, he can heal quickly from that Achilles injury. So on one hand, I'm like, yeah, maybe we can take the risk, but also I'm like, nah, I don't want to take a risk. If it's him or Verse, I'll take Verse. I don't think Verse is going to be there for us. I do think Latu will be because of some of the questions. I think there's going to be some O-linemen there. I think there might be an edge rusher there. There should be a corner. So I think that's probably what I'm going to honestly key in on. I think a corner is what is my top preference. Now, if somebody that's supposed to go top 10 or 15 falls to us, I'm all for taking, a Byron Murphy, a Dallas Turner especially. I don't think he will. The kid, Olamui Fashanu from Penn State, maybe one of those tackles. Amarius Mims, who's like 6'7", 320. Because I'm all about the value, right? Especially on the O-line. But I just think, man, I think our O-line is good. I think our cornerback unit is not. So, or our DB unit in general. I mean, we don't have a safety. We released Byard, so we have to somehow fix that. The Jags just released their starting safety and corner. I would sign one of them. Darius Williams just had a great year. L'Jarius Sneed, I haven't seen us mention with him lately at all, so I don't think we're going to try to do that. Who else just got released? Jordan Poyer just got released. Maybe we can have a reunion because we drafted him, I believe.
Yes.
There's going to be names out there, so I think they might plug one of those holes with like a free agent at corner or at safety. But I want to look into investing in a young corner. That's my go-to. So if I'm on the clock here, I'm taking. There isn't even for me anyway on this one. There's not even a. I'll just go with Kool-Aid. I'll just go with Kool-Aid McKinstry. But I haven't. Maybe Terrion Arnold will be there. Maybe Cooper DeJean will be there. But that's what I'm doing. Then we have 50 and 54. Those two picks are going to be huge, man, because then we have a huge wait to 97 and then an even longer wait to 160. So I think nailing those 50 and 54, I mean, getting two players, like a Chop Robinson or a Jermaine Burton.
A linebacker.
A linebacker.
In the second round.
I don't think Peyton Wilson will be there, but I would love Kyrie Jackson if we don't go corner
in the
first round. I don't know.
I want the
yeah, I do.
Axeman
Yes,
son.
I do. Yeah, you want Trotter Jr. I would love Trotter Jr. or Edgerrin Cooper from A&M in the second round line, or Junior Colson from Michigan. I think there's going to be some linebackers, maybe a defensive. Honestly, dude, I feel like this is going to be just a defensive heavy draft.
Yeah.
The more I look at it, the more I look at the board, the more I look at our needs. Like what if we go Jared Verse and then Chop Robinson, or Terrion Arnold and Chop Robinson, or Jared Verse and then Trotter. Getting two impact starters, hopefully, right away on defense. At least, guys that will play a lot. I'm all for it. Now, it's always flashy. It's always fun to go for the receiver or whatnot. But we have that 54. We could do that. Jalen Polk from Washington, Jonathan Brooks, the running back from Texas. Keon Coleman might fall from FSU, the receiver. There's a lot of talent. This is a pretty good draft. So, especially at receiver and skill positions. Not really running back, but a lot of O-line, a lot of corners. What do you think? What are we looking at here?
So I'm with you in the sense that, like, you made mention of would you be against picking an edge guy, and I absolutely would not. For the main reason is the one guy that you have is like kind of asking for a trade or asking for a new contract, and his status is somewhat up in the air, and the other guy. We had to put a missing persons alert out for about 8 weeks of the season this year in Josh Sweat. So I think the Eagles definitely need help on the edge. And, you got Nolan Smith, but who's to say that he's going to take the next step or if he's ready to go? Because every time the man makes a tackle, he's injured. So you don't know. I have a Lance Zierlein mock draft who is one of the guys I do like. And
him.
And the telltale sign that this is a more sound mock draft is that Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May all go the top three. So there you go. That's more of a realistic mock draft for you. Malik Neighbors going 4 over Marvin Harrison Jr., who goes 5.
Yep.
J.C. Latham, Joe Alt, Jared Verse goes 8. That's high for your boy. J.J. Oh my God, wow, that's pretty high for J.J. McCarthy. Number 9 going to the Broncos, who traded with the Bears in this mock draft. So I like the old mock drafts with trades. I'll skip ahead here.
It's always something. It's always something crazy.
Brock Bowers going 15 to the Colts. Terrion Arnold to the Jags. Brian Thomas Jr. to the Bengals. I mean, just keep picking wide receivers, as many as you possibly can. And they say the Eagles trade. Wow, that's annoying. I try to do all this.
It's awesome.
I do all this
time. Like, nope, you're moving down.
The Bills step up and make a move, and they get your boy Latu or Latte, whatever this guy's name is. They get him, dude. They get this guy who retired. Chop Robinson goes 21 as well. I do like him, even though he's a Penn State guy.
Great name also. Fuck Penn State, but great name.
So the Eagles, they traded down to 28. I'm sure they would get some other stuff. But they get a wide receiver here. Adonye Mitchell. Is that how you say his gentleman's name? Yeah, he ran. What'd he run? A 4.34? Is that what they said at the combine?
4.3. Yeah, he had a really good.
Holy shit! Give me
a good day in general.
Yeah, I'll take
him. Yeah, I'll take him. I think he has some problems catching the ball. Unfortunately,
that's a little bit more important than actually running, though. So that's.
Well, AJ Brown has some problems with that too. So
does Quez Watkins. But what are you gonna do? You know. But there you go. So behind, they have Cooper DeJean going 30. The
one you just had him going 6. So let's figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It's somewhere in the middle, I'd imagine, is where he winds up going. But we will keep getting into these mocks. I don't want to spend too much time. We've already gone hard on these mock drafts already. So, but we will continue to get after it as time goes on.
I'm excited.
Draft season
as we get closer.
To kick off. Yeah. And
Pro days and shit.
Off. When is the NFL draft?
April 30th, 28th. It was
25th to the 27th. So there you go.
25th. Yeah, it was the same time. I remember when I went to Ireland, I came back and I was just so miserable. And it was the first day of the draft is when exactly I got back when the first pick was being made. So that's how I always remember when the draft is, end of April. So we have a little bit of time, but dude, it's creeping up, and we're already in fucking March. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
Oh my god! Like we're like a third of the way through the year already, almost.
Time's moving quick, man.
I'm not a fan, or at least a fourth.
Not a fan at all. That's our Eagles talk. We'll move on to a little bit of Flyers conversation as the NHL trade deadline approaches. I believe on Friday afternoon at 3:00. I think is what I believe that's what time it is, but
yeah, I think it's this week, right?
The Flyers made a trade, Ty, and I would say a pretty good one. And for all intents and purposes, Sean Walker and a 5th-round pick have been sent to the Colorado Avalanche for a 2025 first-round pick and Sean Walker. Or I'm sorry, and Ryan Johansson. I'm sorry.
They got him back.
They got him back. They double traded him, which I've never seen that before. But Ryan Johansson, I don't know much about him.
I believe he's already on waivers.
He's already on waivers. Okay, so that's not have to worry about that then. But
yeah,
at least
grand opening, grand closing.
Sean Walker was gonna walk more than likely at the end of this season anyway.
Switch it there.
So that's actually I didn't even mean to do that, but. I think it was good to get something for him. I see a couple Flyers fans on Twitter that want more to happen, and they want more to be traded, and they want more moves.
What more could you possibly even do?
I don't know. That's why I don't understand. Like Sealer, I don't even know if you could trade him now because he's on the IR, but I don't know how that works with hockey. Hockey has a lot of different rules. I don't really know. They want Scott Lawton to be traded. They kind of just want the Flyers to give away everybody and get picks. And then cry when they lose in the playoffs is what.
Listen, dude. Sean Walker's good. I was looking at some of his advanced numbers, and they all seem good too. And the Avs needed him since they just traded Bowen Byram for Casey Middlestat. They're really going in, man. I like it for the Avs. I think they have a good team. They might have the Hart winner this year. I don't know who's going to win the fucking MVP. Honestly, it's going to be McKinnon, Kucherov. McDavid is just out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart has 45 goals for my Panthers. We'll see, but I think it's a good move for them in the short term.
They got traded to the Panthers.
Tarasenko went to the Panthers. They were like, let's add more scoring. Yeah. Just what we need. Blackhawks, every time they would go on a run back in the day, they used to add just a little bit of a minor piece to kind of complete the puzzle. So yeah, getting a first for Sean Walker is solid because he's going to get a big deal. And maybe he lives up to it, maybe he doesn't. We'll see. Defensemen are very odd. The way they age is kind of weird. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. How old is Sean Walker? Isn't he like almost 30?
I'm almost positive that he is. He's
29
years old.
Yeah, once you're on the opposite side of 30, it's kind of how NFL cornerbacks are. It's how NHL defensemen are. It's kind of how fighters eventually, once you get to like the late 30s, that's just a rule of life, father time, dude. I'm sure he's going to wake up when he's 30 and be like, damn, my leg hurts for some reason. Like, now you get rid of him, you get a first-round pick in 2025. I believe 2025 is thought to be a very good draft. I know it's a little bit out, but from what I've seen or what I've heard on some guys say, that's going to be a pretty good draft. So That's good. That's awesome. I don't know why anybody would be against that. Do you think? Do you think the season like? What is your right now? They're in the playoffs. The Flyers, right?
Yes.
They're third in the Metro.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to catch Carolina, but I don't really know if anybody behind them is going to catch them. Like, yeah, I don't think the Islanders are good. I don't think the Caps are good. Maybe the Penguins, but they have to make a trade. I see they might be sellers, so they're an afterthought at that point.
Mhm.
The Devils continue to just have an absolute pitiful season. Did you see Wayne Gretzky? Oh, fuck, what did he say? Oh man, he said something about the team, and it was just like, damn, man. If I was on that team and the great one called me a bum, I'd be pissed. It was something like that. But either way, the Metro, other than the Rangers, well, the Rangers and the Hurricanes, that's about all there is. I think the Flyers are. Do they win a series? I don't know, but I think they're going to be. It's going to be huge. It's going to be very important for these young guys going forward to have that playoff experience. And maybe you truly never know. Maybe they upset somebody. Maybe they make a run. Remember when they played the Blackhawks in 2010 in the Cup? They were a 7 seed. So
Yeah.
you truly never know. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm here for it, dude. I fuck with the Flyers and the team that they have right now. I kind of like the roster. So let's see. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, like I think the kind of the thought or the thinking from some fans is kind of I don't want to like I'm not the biggest expert, so I don't want to act like I am. I'm smarter than anyone else, but I think they're kind of misguided because the expectations have changed and the thought process has changed. Their team is a little bit better than they thought it was going to be. So I'm not just selling off guys just to sell them off and get picks. I think you have to kind of play that balancing act of keeping the team good and not, completely bottoming out. Like I think Sean Walker, like if they were really trying to go for it this season, then they would keep Sean Walker and add something else. But no, they're not doing that. They're not being stupid about this. They're trying to keep the team somewhat competitive while also having an eye towards the future. So I think it's a smart move. They got rid of Cal Peterson, which is smart because that guy stinks, horrible, absolutely trash can backup. So I think that's
pretty bad.
Yeah, he was horrible. I was watching the game and they played the Penguins. They lost 7-6. This guy couldn't stop a beach ball if it was being sent his way. So I think it's a good move. The fan in me would love them to go out and get a guy. Like a name of some sort that could help the team win this year. But I don't think, it's not exactly the most responsible thing. They just signed Denver Barkey to a 3-year entry-level contract. So
what
that's
a name.
one of their, it's insane that's a thing. Oliver Bonk will be behind them too soon. So, absolutely great hockey names that we're talking about here. So I guess we'll see. I'm just excited to have that we have some of these names coming up and that the Flyers have energy behind them again. That it's been a while, and you're not a Flyers fan, but you follow all the Philly sports, so it's just kind of exciting. It's always good when all the teams are competitive and kind of moving towards the right direction. We're going to talk about a team who's kind of just floating around in the water next, but yeah, listen, I think the Flyers do wind up making them. I think they're 70% to make the playoffs, I think, and I think that's
sounds about right.
Probably accurate. Yeah, I think that they keep winning games and they keep taking care of business. So, Jamie Drysdale getting hurt, that's not good. I don't know if you saw that. I think he's got some sort of shoulder injury that occurred with.
Not good.
Yeah, he got smoked in that Penguins game I was talking about, and then apparently he's going to be back at some point by the end of the season. So, who knows what the deal is with that? But yeah, they got the Flyers all positive in my mind. We didn't even talk about Mitchkov this entire time. Who knows when he's coming? But that's just kind of the ace in the hole that they have waiting in the wings. So how about our Philadelphia 76ers, Ty? Joel Embiid making progress in his return from a left knee injury. He has started on-court workouts and began lifting 100% of the weight he was lifting prior to the injury. Okay, so that's that. I think that's a real good sign. This was Saturday that we were hearing this. So March 3rd is this the article that I'm reading. So that at the very least is a positive thing. The Sixers have struggled without the 7-time All-Star Rick Shocker there, owning a record of 6-8. That was at the time of this article being written. They lost a few of these games They got smoked. Well, they didn't get smoked, but they lost a close one to the Nets without Maxey, who got kneed in his head the other night. That's not a good sign. But I think
letting Lonnie Walker and Dorian Finney-Smith and Dennis Schroeder shred us. Not even Mikal Bridges. Just their backups. So not good.
It's not. None of it's good. Kyle Lowry, the BBL king.
He looks good. He's been playing well. Honestly.
He has. And Buddy Hield's been a good addition. They just never. They really, the big problem is they never went out and addressed that backup center situation. And I know I heard they were supposed to get Drummond, but that kind of fell through at the end. But they should have had a backup plan of some sort or figured out something to do because it's obviously Mo Bamba. There's a reason this man has not been playing. He hasn't been able to kind of realize that potential that the Sheck West song was kind of saying that he was going to be able to do. Paul Reed, out the mud is kind of been hanging out in the mud.
Yeah, he's just there.
He's just like a dirty work guy. He's not the minutes that they're counting on him for right now. They're not. It's just not sustainable. So what is the deal right now? They are 39 or what are they? Were they 35 and 26? I don't know. I'll tell you in a
35
second,
and 26. Yeah, they're in seven. They're in a three-way tie for 6, I guess, with Miami and Indiana. Well, just Miami. I'm sorry. I just don't know. I don't know what to expect. I mean, if they finish where they are now, they would play what? They're the 7, and they would play the. The 3, right?
No, the 7. They would have to be. They'd be in the play-in.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot to play. Yeah, so they're playing. They play Atlanta.
They would play Atlanta in that first game. I'm pretty sure.
If we're in the play-in, I'm good. I'm like good. The season's over. And the season's probably over regardless. I hate to, go that drastic of a left turn, but you need to be in a better position than that. You cannot be in the play-in and expect to go on this run. So they need to take over 6 at least. And from there, I mean, ideally, I would like to hop Orlando and New York. We're only a game back of both of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know where this team really will go. Truly, I mean, we got the let's see the rest of this month. We got the Grizzlies should be a win, and then we got Pelicans, Knicks, Bucks. We got the Heat, Suns this month, Lakers, Clippers. It's gonna be a tough rest of the schedule. Honestly, hopefully Embiid can come back at some time in April so we can win some games at the end of the year. But in my opinion, the outlook does not look that good. I mean, we have to rely on Tobias Harris to help us win games. That is just a scary thought in general. And sometimes he will, but a lot of times he will not. Especially when you consider his defense. So maybe Embiid comes back healthy and he could get back to his old form. But that's that left knee that's been a problem many times. And I'm not saying he's coming back quick or too quick, but he's coming back from an injury. And it's not going to be fully healed until he gets, months and months time off. I don't know, man. Consider me skeptical anyway.
They play the Grizzlies tonight. Hopefully they can catch a W with that. I don't know if Maxey's going to play or not, but I don't think it should matter. They should be able to.
He's out.
Yeah, so there you go. They should be able to find
almost everybody's out.
Well, yeah, Maxey, Lowry.
Covington. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So maybe they won't win.
So maybe Ricky Council can drop some buckets for them tonight. Who knows? I don't even want to talk about them anymore. So there you go. There's your Sixers update. Well, we're in the shitter. So, and then the Phillies, I guess the only good thing with the Phillies is were able to agree to an extension for Zack Wheeler. Agreed to a 3-year, $126 million extension for Zack Wheeler, who will pitch, I believe, until he's 37 or 38 here. I think it's the right move, though, Ty. This guy, you want to talk about being worth every dollar of that previous contract. That Zack Wheeler is exactly that. He, every time, grabbed the ball in the playoffs, every time we needed him to pitch a big game, every time, that man came up clutch. And he's been like the closest embodiment of Roy Halladay that we've had since Roy Halladay. Like, he has been absolutely just a pillar of that rotation and somebody that you're able to count on, unlike a gentleman by the name of Aaron Nola who just got a fat-ass contract as
nice.
well. No, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. Because this guy in the playoffs, it's a couple good starts, and then all of a sudden the guy gets blown up, and it's like I'm supposed to act like these guys are on the same fucking playing field. I guess that's my problem. I don't want to really attack Aaron Nola because the guy has had a great career and he's been a big part of the success here. But I would just hate when people act like these two are the same. They're not. Zack Wheeler is head and shoulders above Aaron Nola. They're not even. He couldn't. Aaron Nola couldn't fucking lace Zack Wheeler's cleats. So there you go. I just want to make sure I got that out and off my chest. So apparently the Phillies are never seriously discussed Blake Snell. That's according to Zach Gelb or Matt Gelb. Not to be confused. There's so many Gelbs in the reporting, but the Phillies have never seriously discussed Blake Snell. Multiple major league sources have said. Gelb adds that this includes even the idea of Phillies signing Snell to a short term with opt-out. So, Matt Chapman goes to the Giants, Cody Bellinger back to the Cubs. So, a couple guys who didn't exactly get the deals that they wanted. That leaves Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery still out there kind of, waiting in the water, waiting to see what happens or what is, figured out. Blake Snell, what do they do though? Like what does he do? I guess I should say because where does he end up? The issue is that with Snell is that he declined a qualifying offer from the San Diego Padres in favor of testing free agency. That means for the Phillies to sign him, even on a 1-year deal or a multi-year with an opt-out, they would have to surrender both their 2nd and 5th round picks in the MLB draft along with $1 million of their international bonus pool money. So that doesn't seem like that's something that anybody's really going to do unless it's a cheap deal. And why would he do that? So I don't know. I don't. Unfortunately, I think I wish the Phillies went out and got somebody in free agency. But I saw that they're like $15 million away from the next tax apron. So I don't think they're gonna. They've been making sure to kind of really keep it cheap this offseason. They go out and sign Whit Merrifield, which okay, that's fine, but. Who's really getting all excited and banging the drum for Whit Merrifield? I think he's in his what is he 35 now?
Yeah, I mean Facebook Philly fans are going crazy over that move.
It's a small white guy. It's just another white guy they can add to the group.
He looks like us. Yeah, he's solid, but he's getting older. His defense I think his defense might still be good, but his offense isn't that great. He's not really a runner anymore. I don't know. He's just kind of is just average. Really, at this point, he's definitely a better piece than Johan Rojas. He gives you the ability to put a bench player back on the bench. So there's that, and he's a vet. But
he was
when it comes to act
last year,
that's what it says. I hope not.
That's what it says on here for Toronto.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I guess they had nobody else, but either way. His on-field production is not going to be that great. He's going to hit 10 to 11 homers. He'll knock in some runs. He won't strike out that much, but he won't walk that much. So it's okay, he's a decent defender, but not a great defender. But he can play a couple positions now. He can play the outfield. He can play the infield a little bit. So some vet versatility for sure. I just, it doesn't move the needle at all for me.
Yeah, I guess that's more my thought process. It's not that it's a bad or horrible move. It's just I was hoping for so much more leaving this free agency than Whit Merrifield, because he's just kind of a guy who they're going to be able to, like you said, place in there in certain spots, and instead of having to play a Jake Cave or something like that, they could play somebody who's at least had some sort of success at the major league level consistently. 3-time All-Star, so you can't take away from him. So it's whether he's cooked or not is a whole nother conversation that I guess we're going to find out in live and in color this year. He did what he hit 281 last year, and I think 279 maybe, 272, and then 281 the year before. That was only in 44 games. But I mean, last year he played 150 or 145 games, and he had 500 ABs, so 547 ABs. So I guess a good sample size. Hits 11 home runs, 67 RBIs. So I mean, I guess listen, I don't know how much he's gonna play here, but I think it will be a nice little option to have for Rob Thompson to bring him off the. And this Philly still never went out and got. They really didn't add anything, dude. That's the problem. Mind blowing. They're kind of just bringing back the exact same roster that they had that came up shorter than they did the year before. So what? I'm having trouble getting excited. Ty, am I crazy for that?
No, I don't think you're crazy at all for that. I mean, it depends how this shakes up, but you're really relying on. I mean, dude, if Zack Wheeler, and I don't mean to jinx him or anything, but if he has more health issues that plagued him before Philly,
Yeah.
you're fucked. You're fucked.
Yep.
You're completely fucked. You know, he's already being asked to carry the entire rotation, which he's done pretty well, with Nola being like a Robin to his Batman. But you know, Trey Turner's going to have to turn to the star player that he was signed to be. And, you know, even with some of these things, like even with the best case scenario for some of these players, I don't think the team in general will be that good. I mean, I think they'll be good, but I don't think they'll be that. I think they're like an 82-win team. You know, maybe they play a little bit better. Maybe they win 85, 86. Maybe they sneak in the wild card. Maybe they win the division if something happens to the Braves, which I highly doubt. But I don't really know. I don't really know. I think the bullpen. What do you think of like the bullpen? Because that's probably going to have to be strong.
Yeah, it's.
I just have a lot of questions with the rotation outside of Nolan Wheeler. You know,
like Suarez. Like I have confidence in Suarez to kind of just do exactly what he's been doing. You know, but like Taijuan Walker, he led the team in wins last year. Couldn't get on the field in the playoffs. So what does he do this year to kind of take that next step, or maybe make himself, you know, like ready to go for the playoffs? And then they're counting on Christopher Sanchez to kind of hold that fifth spot down, which I don't like either. And you know, they have some young guys in Griff McGarry and Mick Abel who are, you know, waiting in the wings in a sense, but they don't even really get a look at them in spring training, you know? So I don't really know what the Phil's plans are here or what they want to do. They like, again, with the bullpen, like they did. What did they really do to the bullpen other than lose Kimbrel? They have a Ryan Kerkering that they're going to count on for a more of an extended, you know, like time this year. They still have Alvarado. You know, they have Jeff Hoffman. So it's basically the same crew that. You know, and that crew did well last year. I don't want to shit on them. You know, Sir Anthony was not good last year, and they somewhat carried him. Matt Strahm, he did, you know, he held it down. He did what he was supposed to.
Right, but who's your, like, you know, close the door?
Maybe it's Alvarado. That's it. But the thing is, though, Ty, and you know this, these bullpen guys are hit or miss year to year. You know, like some years they are on their shit and they know exactly, like you know exactly what you're getting out of them. But then, for example, a Sir Anthony last year where you're like, what happened? Like the year before, this guy was a fucking lockdown closer, and you know, a arm fatigue or something like that happens, and then they're just not the same guy anymore. So I don't have confidence. I wish they would have gone out and maybe gotten made a trade, or I just needed one splash move to really just kind of get myself excited for the team this year. And it just doesn't seem like they did it. It seems like I don't really even think I guess the Braves technically did. They brought in Chris Sale. You know, it's not that, and that's not, you know, a world-changing move, but at least it's something. I don't think the Phillies really did anything at all. The Yankees went out and got Soto. The Dodgers went out and got Ohtani and Yamamoto. What did the Phillies do? What did they, you know, like they just kind of stood pat while all these other teams at least attempted to get better. I don't feel good. I really don't feel good about it as of now. But I mean, when the games start, I'll be excited and I'll get back into it. It's just right now I'm not feeling too good about it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
All right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is everything that did we talk about everything that we needed to talk about? I would say so. I think we did a solid hour for the boys all across the world. 6
hours.
I know that we really were. That's why I looked at the clock. I was like, God damn, we really wasn't even that long. But
yeah.
We talked a lot. That's what it is. I know I talked a lot. I feel cooked right now. So
yeah, I'm like, yo, I need some food.
I need something. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hot Take Hot Box. Please make sure you tune into our UFC 299 preview episode coming out tomorrow. That's going to be a huge episode. Sean O'Malley in his first title defense against the only man to ever defeat him, Marlon Cheeto Vera. We have Dustin Poirier taking on Benoit Saint Denis amongst a wealth of fights, talent. MVP making his UFC debut. Peter Yan getting back in there. I mean, the list goes on and on. We will get into
Caitlin
all
Sermonara.
of that. Caitlin making her debut. Yeah, wow. Blonde fighter. Hopefully she's not retweeting any more porn on online. But how about that? So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone.
And ladies and gentlemen, as always, when you go out to breakfast in the morning, make sure you get a side of bacon because you're not here for a long time. You're here for a good time.